Right, let's go ahead and take a look at the textures that we're going to use for our agents. So we got a group for the man and a group for the woman. So I'm going to dive inside. We'll take a look. So here, so you can see I've got hat A, 1, 2, and 3. So hat A is one. I don't know if it's probably this one right here, as it's got a peak. I'm not certain though, but it doesn't matter. So we've got hat A, which is one piece of geometry with 3 different textures. Okay, and we're going to use, as I said, that random attribute to drive which texture goes on each agent. And then for hat B, we've got 3, hat C for the skin, hair A, 3, B, and so forth, all the way through here. Okay, and then for the woman, we've got pretty much the same, but not exactly the same, and it's something we need to take note of. Okay, so we've got hair A, 1, 2, 3, hair B, 1, 2, 3. So there we've just got 2 types of hair. Okay, which is fine, but you know, because what I'm gonna do, because of the man model has 3 types of geometry and 3 textures for every single one. I'm gonna do all of them first, copy and paste that, and then adjust. You know, just take away whatever is missing from here. So hair C, I won't have that texture, right? Pants A, 1, 2, 3, B. So there's only 2 pieces of geometry for trousers. Okay, so there's just 2 textures here. So you know, we need to not take notes, but just remember to come back and check that later. Shirt A, there's 3. Shirt B. Okay, so there's just to remember, yeah, there's fewer textures here. So yeah, and I've got them imported into my scene. These are the textures that we'll use for the ground later. So what I'm going to do first is split them, because obviously we have different textures for the man and the woman. So I'm just going to grab a split, and each agent has a, let's see if we can find it, I think on the primitive, yeah, a name attribute with man or woman with a different number for each one. So we can use that to split them. I'm going to say our name is man, and then put a star so that, you know, man plus anything. And it looks like it didn't work because I don't have anything here. Let's see why. Primitives, maybe, do I need 2? Oops, 2 equals. Oh, I think they have to be together in a, yeah, there we go, in a group part here. So I've just got the men separated out here now. Okay, we can put man, woman there to show that we've split them up. And what I'm going to do, because we're going to be unpacking these, I've gone back to the first frame. It doesn't matter too much, but yeah, I've gone back to the first frame, and I'm going to grab a group of these, because we're unpacking. That can take quite a bit of time, and so that we're not running too slowly, I'm just going to grab a whole load of these guys here. I don't know if that's actually selected them. It's a bit annoying. I don't know why I have to select them like this, but there we are. Just grab a few so that we've got a variation of geometry and textures. Okay, that'll do. And then I'm just going to delete them and delete non-selected. Okay. And now I'm going to do an agent unpack, and that will give me access to each part of the geometry. So you can see now when I make selections, I can grab the body, the top, the hair, the shoes, trousers, all separately, and that means I can apply textures to them separately. Now I'm just thinking, so with this attribute randomize, this is going to give me a value which will be the same all over this agent. So if I have 2 agents like these 2 guys, which seem to have everything pretty much the same, if they have the same random value, they will be identical, right? So if he's number 1, he has a random value of 1, and he does as well. They'll have the same textures on the same geometry. Okay, so to add a bit more variation again, I'm going to take this attribute randomize, put it under the agent unpack, and that will go over each primitive now. And each primitive here is, you know, the skin, the hair, that's one primitive, and I'll get it even more random. Now, when you can see the visualization is working now. So yeah, random from attributes with texture in there and color. And we can see that now. So, you know, these textures will be the same, but the trousers won't be the same. The shoes won't be the same. The hair won't be the same, right? And yeah, all of this we just do the same on the other side for the women. Okay, let's take a look at actually applying some textures. So I'm going to jump into my material view, drop a principled shader. Okay, and let's call this, we'll do the body first, so we'll call it man underscore body. There's only one type of skin, yeah, with 3 textures, right? So it's just man underscore body, and then we have 3 textures, so we need a texture node, right? So let's go ahead and find those textures. Let's go into our hip, and then I've got them in my texture folder here, man, and then go ahead and find man body. Make sure you're not looking at a sequence. If you don't see pictures here, by the way, if you right click, go to show images. So body skin 1, grab that, and then I'm gonna alt click and drag, bring these up, alt click and drag. Okay, and then now I can just go in here, man skin 2. This is why, again, why, especially for this texturing pad, because we're going to be making a separate texture for every different piece of geometry, and there are a lot. So this is where this kind of nomenclature comes in handy. And then set this to 3. Okay, and we're going to connect all of these up to the base color here. Okay, and I need a switch to switch between them. So let's open that out. The results will go to the base color, and then the 3 inputs will be the 3 textures, and then the switcher will be the attributes that the random attribute that we generated, right? So we need a bind to bring in that attribute, and it was texture, it was called. Hopefully I get this correct. Okay, was an integer value, and this texture then goes into the switcher. That should be all we need. So now if we apply this texture to the skin geometry, we should see a variation of color in all of them. So let's grab a material here so that we can select different paths. Okay, so now if we go into the geometry spreadsheet, and here you can see this agent shape name, and that tells us the name of each bit of geometry. So I want this default man body base, so I'm applying the texture to this, right? So the group will be at agent shape name is, and then I know that nothing else has body in it, so I'll just do star body star, and that should work hopefully. And then go ahead and find that material, which is in my mat, man body, grab that, and there we go. We can see the material has been assigned correctly, and hopefully, I don't think we'll see it here. We'll have to check it in the render. So I'm not going to go ahead and, you know, set up any lights or, you know, use our camera. Let's just do it from here for now. Just go into my render view, click render. Rob camera will probably pick up this camera. I'll go into scene view, so we're using that other camera. Hopefully we'll see them then. Okay. All right, so we're seeing our guys. They've got a skin texture on them, but it seems like they've all got the same texture. So let's see why that is. There we are. So I can see there the problem was it is a float value. So we've created a float, you know, 3 separate float values, 0, 1, and 2, but it's not actually an integer. You see, it's got 0.0 there. But that's working now. Okay, we can see we got 3 separate textures. Yeah, we've got a lighter skin tone, a medium skin tone, and a darker one there. I'm just gonna bring up the roughness on this a bit. We're not going to go into a lot of detail in the textures, okay? Just a general material for everybody. But something that really stands out to me is the, you know, it's much too shiny. Let's bring that up on there. Great. Okay. Next, we'll look at adding the rest of the textures.